with us. We're chasing longbeards in Kansas.
This episode on Southern Veins is close encounters and misses. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize now. There's probably some crime.
We're gonna start this video off with one of my closest encounters in Kentucky on a nice 7-point. We had sat there all afternoon and seen all kind of deer, and we look into the far side of the patch and notice this nice deer coming our way. The buck follows the doe all the way into the corn and gives me a great shot. I draw back and he turns facing me. As the deer turns to present a shot, I do the classic meh to try to stop him. That turns into a bad decision and this deer runs off and I never see him again.
I mean, he choked.
Chase, man. What were you waiting for, dude?
Oh, he can say what he wants to say, but looking at the footage, he had opportunities to kill that deer. And so, my book, he got buck fever.
It just so happened the same trip, a nice 9-point came out and gave us a great look. I mean, I debated shooting this deer up and down, and I even had the trigger release on the bow. I couldn't pull the trigger.
I give Chase credit because we gave him a hard time in camp for choking on that 7-point, but sometimes you gotta let a deer walk and see what he'll turn into next year. So good job, Chase. Another horror story this year is me in Illinois in November. I have a deer come out at 5 o'clock that we had grunted to. He comes in and I draw back and was gonna do an apology shot, you know, off frame because you can't see, and I couldn't see him. 26 yards, I had to let this deer walk instead of wounding him. You know, I decided to let him walk.
In a way, I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out because from what they were talking about, it was really dark and it just wouldn't have made good footage at all.
So the next morning, to tie on to that last story, is I'm in the same tree, hunting the same deer, and this big 8-point walks out. And I got him on a string. He's working a straight line right down the woods right to me.
The whole time this deer was coming, I just knew Matthew was going to pull the trigger. I knew this was going to be the time that he broke the curse in Illinois.
At 40 yards, no shot, he decides to turn and walk into the woods. Good old Illinois jinx again, I guess is all I can say.
Typical Matthew scenario. He can't make the shot.
I wasn't there, but I did receive some information that someone, you know, he knows really close, said that he could have easily killed this deer at 40.
I could understand how he couldn't pull this shot off. I mean, after all, the night before, he did miss a mouse on a sticky trap.
All right, so this past year in Illinois, there was a couple mice in camp. Me and Chaser decided to bait them up and kill one with the mini crossbow. Well, the one I decided to get the opportunity to get the kill on was on a trap, and I still miss.
Oh, that ain't gonna miss.
You want to talk about Illinois jinx? That's it right there in a nutshell. I mean, how do you miss a mouse on a mouse trap? So I decided to take a friend of mine red hunting right there at the end of the season, promising him that he's gonna shoot, I'm gonna video. When I open the gate, this monster walks out and we don't have time to do nothing but me shoot.
I mean, it's like taking candy from a baby. He took the gun from Rhett and just pulled the trigger.
And let me just tell you, all we got on this deer is the recovery, but what a deer he was.
Boss man said he was gonna take me hunting. He's been talking about filming me all year. Pow! And this is what he's got.
Hey, give me some though, dude. At least you got to be a part of it.
Yeah, I get to be a part of it.
I guess when the boss man takes you hunting, you don't really argue. If he wants to shoot, you let him shoot.
So we're back in Bama hunting, late season in a hayfield with a shooting house. And 3 deer walk out, and I'm confident I can make this shot on this last deer. He's a good deer. 400 yards, no doubt I got this.
Well, Matthew shot, the way that deer kicked, I would have bet anything that he had hit this deer. But it turns out, we looked at the footage and even went down there and looked for any kind of sign that he had been hit.
I missed. What else can I say I missed? No, I didn't choke.
It's typical Matthew fashion. He's got to kind of rush through everything really quickly. I mean, you knew you probably had plenty enough time to shoot this deer. Why'd you go ahead and rush the shot? You should have just taken your time.
Yet again, another Matthew horror story. This boy can't catch a break.
So me and my brother decided to hunt on his birthday like we do every year, and we go down to Salifta. We don't see no deer, but these group of hogs come out, and they're like a rat on acid. I don't know what they were doing. They were everywhere. Finally, I talked my brother into taking a pop shot, and we was laughing too hard. The hogs were moving too much, but somehow or another, the man that don't miss these hogs.
So one of the last things that we feature here on this episode is my late season miss. Thankfully, I was able to redeem myself later on in that hunt, but I don't know what exactly happened other than that I just flat out missed.
Reload. I was right on him. How the f did I miss it?
Dang, good. I one shot done missed again.
They keep calling it old one shot. Maybe the gun really is cursed on the first shot after all.
Little did we know that it was almost a blessing for me that he missed, because the next day I get to kill the same deer.
The final video that we cover is whenever I took my dad hunting. He didn't bring any of his gear. I had my gun, let him hunt with it, and he missed on the first shot, you know. You know, maybe it's true. Maybe this gun really is cursed.
Hey Jeff, I don't know you, but you know better than to use a one shot. Come on, man.
You know, old one shot might not be the gun. It might just be genetic. They might just be in their blood to miss the first shot.
So before we wrap up this show, we got one little surprise for everyone, including the chaser. So Chase tears out from college one afternoon and decides to go do a solo film bow hunt. Right at dark, his deer comes out and he makes an awesome shot on it. And the reason this deer is a trophy in my book, even though it's not the biggest, is the fact that it was his first time ever self-filming. He shot this deer right at dark and made an awesome shot. So congratulations, Chase, on this deer.
Well, there you have it. Even though we had some close encounters and even misses, we just wanted to show y'all that it's not always about the thrill of the kill, it's about the hunt.
Next episode on Southern Veins, we'll be showing you the highlights throughout the season, and there are some awesome ones.